Hi, this is Dani, and this is Living Free Over 50, my channel, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Today is going to be kind of a talking head video day. I'm going to be talking about my learning process for making videos on YouTube. And so if you've watched any of my videos already, you already know that I'm still very early in the learning process. But I know as I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, especially van life people, which is primarily what I have been watching for months, is that sometimes I like behind the scenes. I have learned a lot from places like Think Media. You know, they have a very big channel on YouTube and they talk about all things kind of starting a YouTube channel, making videos and things, but they make almost exclusively kind of talking head videos. That's what I call this, where you're just looking at me and we're not walking around, we're not talking outside. I wanted to make this video outside, but the wind is blowing. I left my window down because it's also getting warm. I'm hoping that that wind is not too much of a distraction on the video. I'll probably pause in a minute and go back and check. So this video, I'm just going to be talking about all the things I'm learning about making videos and how much of a mountain there still is to climb and how it is kind of psychologically. I find that everything that I'm doing with this van life and with building a YouTube channel is about life. Everything, like how you do anything is how you do life. And we can make excuses, or we can just delay, or we can wait till we're really, really ready and wait till every little thing is in place, or we can jump in and be impulsive and maybe not make the best decisions. Somewhere in the balance of there is the sweet spot of living the life you know you're capable of, having the things that you know you want. For me, freedom. I want stability, but I want freedom too. And so that's a weird kind of balance that we all kind of do, but those are both very high for me. And they seem to be kind of opposing, but we'll see. We're taking it one day at a time. So I'm going to talk about a variety of topics around learning to do video on YouTube. I'm just going to put a bunch of clips together. I'm not going to try to just go through whatever this ends up being, 20 minutes or whatever, all at the same time. So just going to pause for a second and I'll be right back. And before I get started talking about what I'm learning about video, can I just say this? I started this channel. I didn't really tell anybody about it. I didn't really have much going on. I was doing different kinds of videos about different things that were interesting to me. I did one video where it was completely unedited. I did no work on it or anything. I just took the camera, I was holding it in my hand, I was walking around my van, and I did a van tour. And the sound was spotty, and I would move my hand under the speaker and the sound would get even more sporadic, and there was wind. That video is the video that I wouldn't say it went viral, it hasn't been seen by 1 million people or anything, but at the time I only had like 20 subscribers and nobody really knew about my channel. And I did that video, and because it's such a good topic and so many of us are interested in this topic, it's gotten thousands of views. Thousands, I say thousands. It's probably gotten 5,000 views or so far in the couple of weeks or so it's been up, a couple of weeks or more. So while I am learning about editing and about putting things together and about making things look better and sound better and be more entertaining for the viewer, and also thinking through how I can bring value, how can my perspective bring value, thinking through all that, doing all this work, when the only video I've ever done that really kind of exploded for me was a video that took no skill, was no talent, just me walking around the van, and that was enough, and that was fine. But I am interested in building a channel. I'm interested in bringing value. I'm interested in making content that people want to see. Also, I'm interested in doing stuff that's fun for me. So I'm having fun right now learning about YouTube video. So I'm going to keep learning about it. But I just wanted to throw that in there, especially if you are one of these people who you're thinking about starting a channel, or just let that be an encouragement for you, because I don't think you could do worse than me, especially in the beginning. Even now, I won't go into that right now. I'm going to save that for the next segment. So, about shooting video. I need to do a lot more learning about how to shoot a video. Because as I said, the learning that I've done up to this point has been from a lot of people who are in a studio or in a room, in an office, whatever, and doing it. And that's just really completely different than being out in nature, from having the wind, from having all this other stuff to deal with. When you start moving the camera and then moving your body, moving both of them all at the same time and trying to juggle things and have it look decent is amazingly difficult. So I need to do more learning. But the thing is, now I'm traveling now, and what's happening is happening now. So I need to shoot the video and do it now. When I get back home and have a little bit of downtime, I'll do more and more learning and get better and better. But even though I'm just here, I am learning a lot on my own about shooting. And so I've started doing voiceover most of the time when I'm out in nature and I'm shooting at a national park or something. I will just get the shot and then I'll do a voiceover, because I never know how strong that wind is going to be or anything. And so, and also before I would do clips where I would talk as I was outside, and in one clip the wind would be really bad, and in another clip my voice would be muffled, and it was all over the place. So I have found that doing voiceovers is an easier way. But I had to learn how to do a voiceover. I had to learn. I'm still learning, and if anybody has any tips, please let me know, to keep the camera from wobbling so much. So I have a little clip which is where my camera is right now. It is clipped on the dash of my car, and it just stays there. And then sometimes when I'm driving into a park or something, I will leave the clip there. I will leave the camera in the clip and then pan around as I'm driving in. Those are great shots. However, if the road is the slightest bit bumpy or there's any interference, the video is completely like this. Even when I hold the camera or hold a selfie stick, it's still jumpy, because maybe it's like, for one thing, like holding it for a while, any more than a minute or two, and my arm gets kind of tired and it can be stiff. So anyway, any clues about not jumping around, please throw it in the comments. Also, in shooting videos, I started inserting pictures in my videos, and I started finally editing video clips together. This has literally been new in the last couple weeks that I've been just teaching myself how to do this. So when I take a picture and then I want to share it in a video, like in a little picture album, which if you've watched, you know I like to do at the end or sometimes in the middle of my videos, I'll throw in little pictures and do a voiceover. When I take a picture, I can't take it up and down, like vertical. I take it horizontal. And even when I take it horizontally, the video will cut off part of the top and part of the bottom. So when I'm taking a picture, I really have to, number one, have it horizontal, and number two, have it what I really want to capture in the picture, I have to have it kind of centered so it doesn't get cut off on the top or bottom. Even my last video that I made, I was just looking at, and the picture that I wanted to show, I must have taken it vertical, and it only had like just the middle of the picture that showed up. So these are all little things that I am learning on the way. When I was shooting, I imported the video into my editor, my camera editor. I'll talk about that next segment, the editor that I use and editing video. And I would get blurry spots. Again, if you've watched my videos, you know I have some videos where they have either the black lines or the blurry lines, either on top and bottom or on the sides. I went through everything, every mistake you can possibly make, I have made. And what I found with the blurry lines was, number one, I usually need to be doing, again, horizontal for video and for pictures. And the second thing I learned about that is I had accidentally clicked a button in my video editor that was changing the shape. And so that's why it was misbehaving in that way. So that's all I can think of on shooting video right now. The next segment will be video editing. So, video editing. The video editing software I use is an app on my phone, and it's called InShot, InShot. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. If it's not, I'll correct this, but I think it is. InShot. So right now, I'm shooting everything on my iPhone 10, and I'm using InShot on my phone to edit everything. When I was back at home, I was doing everything on my computer. I would take video on my computer if I was just sitting at my desk, or if I was out and about, I would take video on my camera. Then I would download it to the video editor on the computer. Then I would edit, and I like having the full screen. I liked having that, and I learned to use a video editor on my Mac too, and it worked okay and everything was fine. But by shooting on my phone and by having my video editor on my phone as well, I don't have to go through the mess of having to have Wi-Fi or anything to get these to all work together, because once the video is on my phone, and there I can go in and edit it, and then I can save it back to my phone, and I can do all that no matter where I am. That's a huge plus for me, because I do not spend a lot of time where I would say so far about 70% of the time I have some cell coverage, but not a whole lot, sometimes not enough to make a hotspot. And most of the time, I do not have internet. I don't have Wi-Fi. I don't have hotspot that'll work. Most of the time, I don't have it accessible. So to be able to have that video on my phone, and then to be able to edit, save it back to my phone, all with minimal connectedness, is fantastic. And then what I do is I open YouTube and hit the little plus sign at the bottom, and then I upload it to YouTube, and then it has to have time to process. That's where I need to have my hotspot. That's where I need to have Wi-Fi that makes that go so much faster and easier process. But so I don't get bogged down in the beginning, which is nice, and that's why I like to have everything contained on my phone if I can. So the whole process of learning how to edit videos has been mostly self-taught, just because with the software that we have today, it's kind of intuitive to know what to do and to play around with it and to kind of figure it out. Again, I have a lot of learning that I could do. I can take a couple of courses, watch some YouTube videos on people who are out in nature doing videos and things like that. But I am just teaching myself for now, getting better each time I try to do it. So at first, I would literally just shoot a video of my talking head, create a separate thumbnail, and then upload it. Now I have started doing slight variations. Again, this is all within 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know, a few weeks. Then I started being able to do the voiceover a little bit. Then I started being able to put some clips together. Then I added pictures in and figured out how to format them. I'm figuring out how to format the pictures now. Now I need to work on a couple of things, like that's why I'm doing this video in segments, because in the last video that I did, I was just talking for about 7 minutes, and then I realized I repeated myself at the beginning of the video and at the end. There were about maybe 30 seconds of kind of repeated content, but it wasn't exactly the same. And I must have messed around for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to cut, where to cut. So I cut out one part of it so that you wouldn't have to hear the same stuff twice. And then when I did that, it was a very rough transition. And so it just made the whole thing kind of splotchy. But I told myself maybe that was better than having to listen to me go on and on. So now what I'm working on, this little baby step here, is doing more segments. Is even when I am doing one longer video, is to try to pause in between when I change subjects, certainly, and even when I change thoughts or sentences, to have a little pause at the end of each thought, so that if I need to edit the video, then I have these little spots on the audio where I can cut in and cut out. So I'm trying on working in smaller segments, pausing at the end of thoughts, and also I'm going to start working with transitions. On the editing software, you have a transition button. That's when you see people, they slide in a picture from the side and have it come to life, and then they slide in a picture from the other side. They do these transitions, or maybe they'll just fade out over a couple of seconds when they're changing scenes. I haven't played with these at all, so that's one of the things that I'm going to start playing with. But again, every layer that you add to make it more smooth, to make it more enjoyable, any of that takes a lot more work and a lot more time. And so I'm trying to find some kind of a balance of teaching myself these skills and at the same time realizing that that it's the content over the editing that is going to set me apart. If I'm going to have a following, it's not going to be because I have the best videos anyone's ever seen. There are way too many people where that is their passion, is making videos. Making videos isn't my passion. My passion is life. What I want to learn is enough skill to translate my passion to inspire anyone else who wants this kind of life, or who wants a dream in their life to come true, to know if I can do it, you can do it. And so even going into detail about this editing and about all there is to learn at every little step is part of that, just to show you even that I know nothing. I had not edited a single video. And again, I don't have to tell a lot of you that, because if you've watched many of my videos at all, you already know. You're already in on the secret. The secret's out the first time I made a video. Okay, I think that's it on video editing. And next I'm going to talk about, I don't know, we'll see. This is just a screenshot from my phone to show you I do use InShot. I use Fonto for the thumbnails for my YouTube videos. Okay, another piece to the puzzle, I just looked at my notes and now I'm back. Another piece to the puzzle that I'm putting in is all this footage that I take and editing all of these videos. When I'm traveling and doing a lot, I literally did 2 national parks in 3 days, but one national park had 2 different big segments. So I did one segment one day and the next segment the other day. Canyonlands had 2 segments. So that's 3 full days of travel and hiking and videoing and picture taking and all of it. And I had that all 3 days built up on my phone, kind of ready to be edited, to be put into little groups and to keep track of everything. Like, here's what I'm talking about. I need a system for organization. And what I'm finding, what I need to try to do, I believe, is at the end of each day, just to take what I have and start a draft of a video in my video editor so that I can keep things together. Because when I select things for my video editor, I select things in the order that I want everything out on the screen. I don't have to, because it's easy to move things around, but when I take pictures and video, I kind of, in my mind, am already thinking about how it's going to look or how I'm going to talk about it, what I'm going to talk about, what's important about certain pictures or certain views or any of that. So, but I also know that when I'm recording it and when I'm starting to go through, but I forget. After only a few days, I'm like, where was that again? What? And so I have to do things to, like, number one, I'm taking pictures of all those little, you know, the little signs where at every attraction that says, this is how this canyon was made, this is the name of the canyon, this is how it was made, this is the rock formations, blah, blah, blah. I'm taking pictures of those before I shoot the footage, maybe so sometimes I share them, but also just for me in my mind, like, where was I? What was I doing? I have to keep everything very organized in my mind and on my phone, and I keep it very chronological, and then I think to myself what I want to do. Okay, so after 3 days, I have all these videos and all these pictures, and I think, oh, they're amazing, and it all starts to blur together. So I go back through my phone chronologically, and I start for 3 days ago. I did this last night. So I start 3 days ago, and I look at every video and I rewatch it. So I put in my little notebook, I put how long the video is, because every single video is going to be a little bit different length. I put how long the video is, and then I'll show you a little thing that I did last night. Here are a few little ones. And you'll see this had a lot of pictures, just 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds. I put the list of the videos that I made and I put how long they were first, because that's how I identify them. And then I put a brief little description of what's in each video. And I put them in order of how I want to see them in my completed video. Then I upload in that order to my video editing software, which is the InShot application, the app I told you about. I upload all of that in order. That way I have my notes on what's included, and I have all the pieces ready to make my video for YouTube. Not all the pieces, but the main pieces to make the video. And so I put it in there, and then as I go through and kind of rewatch the videos and start to actually do the editing, then I see what's missing, then I might do a voiceover, then I do voiceovers, then, right? So then it gets into that whole process. A pretty complicated I'm making it sound more complicated than it is. But again, I didn't have any system. I didn't have anything when I started all of this. I just am figuring it out and getting learning wherever I can. And it's just one thing at a time. So I'm going to pause right there and come back to you when I collect my thoughts a little bit more. So here's another little life lesson that I am learning by making videos on YouTube. Or I should say another life lesson that gets kind of reinforced again and again is don't be afraid to suck. Because here's the thing. When I told you before about the blurriness or the blackout on the sides of the pictures and the videos, I had such a strong urge. Okay, so let me back up just a second. When I record a video, it might be 3 days to a week before YouTube sees the video, because of course I have to have time to edit and time to put it all together. And then I have a buffer of a few days because of course, if I wanted to go a couple of weeks without filming anything, I would want to know that I still had some stuff to come out. Anyway, I've always got this buffer of time. So when I am just posting a video and it's got the blurry sides, and I have just learned in real time, a week later, how to correct that or what I did wrong, I have such a strong urge to go back and to try to redo it. But the thing is that I think I am better off just continuing to move forward baby step by baby step, and not just appreciating where I am when I'm there. So even when I had those blurry sides, I was learning. I had already learned something, one mistake that I wasn't making on that video that I was making in videos before. So it's always a continual process, and I'm always learning, and I have to be okay. See, we can make mistakes in regular life, and not everybody has to know about them. Not everybody has to see them. Now I have this channel. Now I have told my friends and my family that I have it, right? And so it's this psychological thing of wanting it so badly to be good and to not having that skill yet, but having faith that what I do have, which is literally authenticity, if I can do it, anybody can do it, a willingness to make fun of myself and to learn and to show you the learning so that it's not like I'm up on some pedestal or up on like, oh, I've been there and I've done that and now I've come through it all. But there's something different about sharing when you're in the struggle and step by step, when you are taking steps towards something that's important to you. So all of this learning and all of this fumbling around and all of this afraid to look foolish and all of this vulnerability is real, but I think it is worthwhile. I know for me, I soon tire of things if they're not teaching me something all the time. Some sites, I'd go just for the education, just to learn something. Other sites I go because of some kind of connection with the person in the video or something that they're doing that I want to do, or some kind of personal relationship that I can identify with the person or with something that they're going through, right? So that's the angle. Like that will be my, if I gain a following, if I continue, that will be my place. It won't be because I have the most beautiful videos, or even because I'm the most eloquent or the most like, oh, look at me, do what I've done kind of thing. That's not my space. There are plenty of other, people to do that and to do it very well. And I don't have to be in that space, and that takes off the pressure to be perfect, but it also, you have to be brave to be vulnerable. And we all know this. And you have to be brave to be vulnerable in your relationships. And you certainly have to be brave to be vulnerable and put out a YouTube channel or a YouTube video or any of this kind of stuff. So if you are doing it or thinking about it, this video is really for you. And I think I have one more segment, so I'm going to check my notes. Okay, another question I've been working on, and we're getting close to the end. Another question I've been working on is, should I have an intro that I can play at the beginning of every video? Because sometimes I start talking and I forget to say, this is Dani, this is the name of my channel, I'm a soon-to-be empty nester, I'm traveling in my minivan, blah, blah, blah. So people know where they are and know just a tiny little snippet about who I am if they're watching a video for the first time. I tend to think in terms of conversation and in terms of continuing conversation, so it doesn't even occur to me that someone's going to be new watching for the first time, which of course sometimes they are. So I'm debating having a little small intro at the beginning that says, who I am and a tiny snippet about the channel. And so let me know if you think I should do that or not. I would be curious to know. And then I'm going to come back in just a second and I will give you a panorama of where I am now. And then I will do a screenshot of my location in case you ever want to come out this way. Right now I am close to Capitol Reef National Park in Utah. It is gorgeous. I am camping for free on National Forest. I don't think this is BLM. This is National Forest land right here where I am. And I am not alone. I have a couple of people I just met with me. And so, but I'm going to give you a little panorama and I'll do my little closeout with that. Okay, this is the view from the front of the van. There is actually a highway back there, but you can't really see it. This just looks like all open land. Here's my little dash thing that holds my camera that I was talking about earlier. And here's my view to the side. This tree is the most wonderful thing because that is directly west. And so the sun and the heat of the afternoon, the sun will be setting behind that tree, giving me shade. And back here, I have another glorious view. Mountains and all of it. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you for watching. Maybe I'll have a little campfire later. I have to do the research. I don't know if there's a no fires restriction right now or not, but I have everything I need. with this beautiful view. And I just thank you for being here. Thank you so much. And I have an announcement. I have my first patron on Patreon. I'm going to put the link in the description just in case you want to support the channel. Just thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see. Talk to you next time.